Hello everyone, Jessica here from Finding Aloha. I wanted to take you along with me today while I prep some dinners. So when we lived in a normal house with a normal sized freezer, we usually prepped about 4 to 5 dinners a month so that we'd have them on hand for those late nights or when you didn't feel like cooking. Or if you didn't make it to the grocery store, you would have something in the freezer you could just throw in the oven, or you could put it in the crock pot in the morning. But now that we live on our sailboat, we lost a lot of freezer size. So our freezer is pretty small. We do have a freezer so we can keep ice and we can keep a few things in there, like a couple bags of vegetables or some shrimp, but not much for some gallon size freezer meals. So I've come up with an idea. I've got some supplies behind me and I'm gonna take you along with me while I prep some pantry meals. Okay, the first meal I've got is a really simple one. I just have a box of Annie's macaroni and cheese, a can of peas, and a can of light Spam. So this will be a one-pot real quick meal that we can whip together. And I'm just gonna open up my gallon-sized Ziploc bag and I'm just going to put everything in. Alright, and then I'm going to seal that up and the first meal is done. Okay, for the second meal I have a soup. So I have a carton of vegetable broth, 2 cans of mixed vegetables. I'm going to use just some Italian seasoning and some Old Bay seasoning. And then I have a pack of just little, looks like spaghetti noodles that have been chopped up, but they're just small little noodle sticks. Okay, and for the seasoning, I've got this little cup I'm gonna use and some snack size bags. I'm going to use a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and then I've just got a teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. I'm just gonna sprinkle in a little bit of salt. There's a lot of salt in the broth, so I probably don't need too much, and some pepper. Got my little seasoning packet. I'll put that in there. Seal it up and we're good to go. Okay, the next meal I have is another really simple one. I've just got some spaghetti noodles, a can of tomato basil spaghetti sauce. We've really been liking garbanzo beans with our spaghetti lately for some reason, so I've got a can of garbanzo beans and then some green beans just to have on the side. All right, that one fought me a little bit, but third meal is down. Okay, the fourth meal is going to be a taco bowl. So I'm going to start by putting my cans in the bag. We've got some diced tomatoes with green chilies, some pinto beans, and a can of corn. And then I'm gonna measure out 1 cup of rice and a half a cup of lentils. And then I'm just gonna write with Sharpie on this bag so I remember the measurements that I used. And then I'm gonna make my seasoning packet. Okay, so I'm gonna start with 2 teaspoons chili powder, a 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon Italian, a 1/2 teaspoon paprika, 2 teaspoons cumin, and then some salt and pepper. Now I've got my little taco seasoning packet. And my fourth meal is done. Okay, the next meal is going to be chili. So I have a can of white beans and a can of kidney beans. You can use 2 cans of kidney beans if you want. I have a can of diced tomatoes, a can of tomato paste, and some corn for the side. And then I'm going to add a cup of rice and a half a cup of lentils, again, just like I did to the taco bowls. And I'll add my seasoning. Okay, for the seasoning, we are going to use a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And meal number 5 is done. Okay, that went really quick. It was really simple, and now I have 5 quick meals where I know I have every ingredient on hand and they're all ready to go, and most of them are just one-pot meals. So super easy, definitely recommend it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and stick around if you want to see where I'm going to store them.